the failure to be content or notice that contentment in moments of success to bring gratitude, shake hands with it, give that space. And I was just talking to one of our coworkers and I'm like, man, we all in this society genuinely don't give ourselves enough contentment because of the downward pressure, and there's not a lot of reciprocation or gratitude from the upper leadership or colleagues because it's such an extreme environment we're typically in. And I think we all need to do a better job, because one day or an hour not going to hurt us. Hey everybody, welcome back to Never in Reverse podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Axel, with my co-host, Doug Cox. What's up, Doug?
What's going on? We're back at it. It's been a minute.
Dude, another week.
Gosh. Yeah. It's been a good week, though. You know, we've had some challenges, but a lot of good, fruitful things of it all. I mean, here at home and at work. So, no,
what'd you guys do this week as a family?
Oh, gosh. This week, it was fairly low-key. We're kind of in the shoulder season between sports and stuff, so it's been... it's been nice the last couple of weeks. Not a huge schedule, after work, but no, not a whole lot. Actually, was elk hunting the last few weeks and able to get caught up on stuff around the house. So finally got my laundry put away.
You get that laundry room just like I do. You and I talk about that all the time. You want to do the laundry? Just go to the room. It's like a mound.
No, you pick out of the pile is what you do.
Oh man, you hope you're grabbing the right sock.
Yeah, and you're going, oh shoot, it's wrinkled.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think this is the first week that I haven't had to travel. Well, actually, wait a minute. I'm traveling. This is, I think, the 7th week straight at the airport. I think the Southwest team.
They know you by name?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, Jeremy, you again.
Hey, Platinum Gold member. He's back.
I don't think they can put any more points in there, honestly.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So, no, but, it's kind of funny, over the last few weeks, just being on the road so much and just seeing and holiday season coming around and everything like that, I think there's some, you and I a lot of times kind of go through a lot of this week or the days that kind of blend together, and I think we don't give enough space to have a lot of gratitude, and I think it's a good time for us to kind of just slow down a little bit and be in that moment of having some gratitude and for life. It's a pretty delicate topic in my world, and we'll get into that, but it's just, I think
it's easy to take things for granted, right? I mean, when the hustle and bustle, and then sometimes it's like you got to stop and you just have a moment where you go, life's pretty good. Yeah.
And we'll start with that kind of a key area of that is like appreciation and genuine appreciation.
Like you appreciate me kind of thing? Is that what you mean?
Oh, no, man. The 24/7 grind. When I wake up and look at my phone, the first thing I think is, how can I roast you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's no appreciation.
It's before my alarm every morning. I get something from you.
I think this morning you got some pictures of some big bucks that were
some big bucks running through your neighborhood. You can send those though, but outside of that, I don't want anything work related.
Yeah, exactly. But appreciation. What do you think is a great way to show appreciation that is well received?
The simple thing is please and thank yous, right? Are we taking thank yous for granted? I mean, are they truthful? It's sincere? I think so. But beyond that, an appreciation, expression, it's, I mean, even at work when I'm sending emails and somebody jumps through a hoop or a hurdle for me, I more than just a simple thank you. It's like, hey, I really appreciate you taking the extra time, to lend a supporting hand. It's hard to get that across in a text or in an email or, because you can't feel somebody's body language and how they portray it. You can't always, but you try to put enough emphasis or sincereness in an email or a text that's meaningful, because I think a lot of times, people take things for granted and it's like it's owed it to them. Like, you need to get me this, or you need to do this for me. And it's like, where's my thank you? Where's the appreciation? Right.
Yeah. I think we're losing those touches in life. And I think that there's times in my marriage and just the way that I conduct my day-to-day stuff, when my wife or I seek out to appreciate the moment with each other or that other person in a genuine connected manner, man, it's so beautiful. I think it's a lost art. I think we've gotten transactional in terms of how people, the pleasing thank yous are just of that from a mutual respect.
Hmm.
But, I don't know if you've ever experienced anyone that has a very grounded level of appreciation, but it's great. And on the other hand, the lack of that appreciation when you're in these moments and how that affects a lot of just generalized morale, right? Like as
Right.
a team, I mean, you can genuinely single-handedly affect morale in a group environment by
Ooh.
being in a leadership position without a level of appreciation. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's times that I'm horrible at it, and on within our team atmosphere. But I just there one of the engineers had done a really, went out of the way, just was in the grind with me, and I I I remember I stopped and I got off the phone and I'm like, wait a minute, I owe this guy a
Yeah.
a genuine, and you know what it did to him? He goes, hey, I appreciate you too, man. Thank you for rolling your sleeves up during this critical moment that was this customer just needed a
Hmm.
fast paced thing. Anyways,
So they just jumped on it. I mean, like they just kind of dropped everything they were doing to.
it was a big asking from both parties, and we just, how we are. We're gonna roll our sleeves up, and that's our approach. Mine, your approach is a lot is just like,
But you made the comment a second ago. You said you're not always great at showing that or sharing that, and I'm going to kind of disagree with you a little bit because I've gotten texts from you or messages from you way later in the day. Maybe not in the moment you're not great at it, but there's been many times when I've gotten a text or gotten a message from you like, "Hey Doug, I really appreciate this," or "Doing a fantastic job. Really appreciate you taking these things on." And you do, you know.
yeah, I
And
think I think there's just more of it. I think with everything that's going on in our world, from our kids to our wives
yeah.
to our friendships, I think here I'll be honest, in our friendships, I told you the other day, you and I were on a road trip, and I really meant that. I said, man, I'm sorry I didn't give you a hug, and
Yeah.
I meant that because what if that's the last time I get to see you,
Yeah, you take these things for
you
granted.
know?
You do.
And I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate you, and I think that um,
Are you gonna cry?
yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big deal, dude. I mean, that's like if you really think about like what we're missing out on, the
Yeah.
stuff that you've experienced this week with some friends or a friend that is no longer here.
Friend
I
passed
mean,
away.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna be serious, man. Like that stuff. What if that was right? Like,
Hmm.
do we have something that's I'm leaving here for the moment
Yeah. And
that's
it's
bigger
like
than
how you want
myself?
to be remembered. If you were to leave, was he that loving, caring,
Hmm.
appreciative guy? And then again, too. Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from.
And don't be I think there's a level of like failed acknowledgement around the appreciation for that person because we're all busy. But I think that the failures are also sometimes, you can make up for those, but you can't be in this
Hmm.
vicious cycle of no gratitude or appreciation for the people or the things that are occurring in your world. To me, it's like finding those, being able to reflect in those moments and pencil in like, hey, man, I messed up today, or I didn't even think about that other person in this
Yeah.
way, and they did a lot.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
went out of their way. I think we got to take kind of this contentment and how we can bring some inner peace to moments
Hmm.
and stage up some more connectedness. I
And
think we're missing that. We're just flying, man, and all of a sudden you get to
yeah.
the end of the lane and we're getting ready to stop doing something, and you've done some transactional things. And what I mean by that is just please and thank you. Hey, appreciate you. Because habitual things, but are they grounded? Are they peaceful? Are
Appreciate
they?
you.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
My
see
wife,
ya.
because you
I,
say that all the time. So I tease my wife. I'll be like, I appreciate you. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, don't, you sound like Jeremy."
I mean, but like,
Which my wife's known Jeremy for 20
yeah,
years. So, she knows where it comes from. But
yeah,
no,
exactly.
in the moment, I think is where I lack. Sometimes it's, you know, I fail to recognize, somebody did something and I've gotten, I think, better at it, but there's been times when it's like, gosh dang it, I owe that person a thank you
Yeah,
or, a wholehearted thank you for something they went out of their way and helped me with or,
yeah,
did
exactly.
something that I missed.
So I think with that, we're gonna jump into a quick break, everybody. We appreciate it, but we'll dive back into that topic, Doug, and we'll get back into
Yeah.
just that being content and contentment. But just in this level of gratitude, we do want to say, thank you guys so much for diving in on this journey so far. We're just a couple small town guys that's really trying to figure this stuff out, and we want to share some stories, and we want to be part of your community and build deeper relationships that have a lot of meaning. So
Being on camera is so fun.
Oh, it's so tough, and it's so tough to be in this space. But we do appreciate you guys, and we truly mean that. We look forward to a journey with learning, hopefully from everyone else, and getting a chance
100%.
to meet you guys at some point. So we're going to take a 15-minute break. We'll be back here shortly, guys, and thank you so much. Hey, everybody, welcome back from break. Appreciate that. Doug, we're going to dive back into that topic of contentment. Man, you know, what does that mean to you, Doug?
Gosh, usually it starts, with my day where I don't have you chirping in my ear at 5:30.
Yeah, he's getting out of the rack.
Then I'm just in this moment of peace, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's one thing we got to make sure that the viewership understands is that you're content with your sales pipeline. That's for sure.
Content.
Hey, that thing,
See
that
that?
thing's is that an
See that?
exponential curve? Is that on the bell curve?
No. That's a
on the-
straight arrow, bud.
It's on the incline.
No. All jokes aside, there's times I think you get caught in the hustle of life, right? And there's times my wife hates road trips. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
I love sometimes just being in the car, and I'll just turn the music off and just think, and sometimes I let my mind wander, but a lot of times I sit there and go, you know what? Got it pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Got it pretty good. Of course we all want, maybe some finer things in life, but at the end of the day, knock on wood, family's healthy, everybody's having fun. We're getting a lot of experiences, as a family, and very fortunate to live where we live and the activities that we have. I mean, I've got more than most, and sometimes even in my toughest moments of just, upset or frustrated or whatever, it's like, you got to sometimes just go, it's okay. Got it pretty dang good. And sometimes it's hard to do, but you just got to hit that pause button for a second.
Yeah, and that pause button at times, this is a big growth area for me, man. Being content is like, it's so hard to find this inner peace at times, where I get the ability to enjoy the moment sincerely because, we're moving fast around every parts of this world, and I think
you never turned business off.
And just in general, like it, and I've gotten a lot better.
Was it a gut check internally, or did your wife kind of say, "Hey"?
No, my wife is fed up, man. It was full speed ahead, and there was no peace in our home. Honestly,
they were in the way.
It was a. To be honest, they probably felt more like it was a high level of an inconvenience at times for them. Like they were in my way to be super vulnerable, and it was like, man, is that what I really want to show my kids?
Right.
Do I want to show
them
them?
Fair to them?
Yeah, they don't deserve that. Like, for what? There's a joke in my house of like one more sale or two more. It's two more. Sorry, it's still a joke. It's been that way.
You gotta get the first one to get the second one. So,
man, I'm just been trying to guide you on how to close. So it's. If I didn't have to train you so much,
we're gonna rename this sales roast. Is that what this is gonna be? Yeah, never in reverse. Sales roast. Yeah.
We can talk about my pipeline now. I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
But the family struggle and the dynamic is just the feeling content is just this level of peace. And when you find that, and I think you've done a really good job of this. And actually, you shared some stuff with me where you haven't done a great job of it. But just when you give that moment, your kids, you don't even have to say a word. The vibrations of your frequency when you walk through the door, if you're not in a content space, guess what happens? Your kids feel it. Your wife knows it. There's a disconnect. And you don't even have to say a word.
Well, and a lot of the reason why I'm here is because, where I was in prior place of employment, I mean, it was a great opportunity. It was a great organization, a lot of experience, a lot of takeaways from it. But, I wore a lot of the burden on my shoulders when I came through the door. My wife, her joke was, what Doug's going to walk through the door today?
Yeah.
And I remember, there was that breaking point. She's like, you got to make a decision, but staying where you're at is not
option.
One of them, not an option, and I'm grateful that she pushed me for that, because the beautiful part, here, I mean, not to dive into what we do business wise, but it's a lot of exciting things, a lot of good things going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're reaching for the stars, which
Yep.
is exciting. And if you can't get excited about that, I was in a stale environment before. It
Mm-hmm.
was like we were just trying to float, keep our head above water. And that wasn't exciting and enticing for me. And it was a
Yeah,
lot of burden.
man. And Doug, I think that,
Not content in that environment.
yeah, but our peace, we also have to have successful contentment. And what I mean
Yeah.
by that is that there's layers to this. You find me a lot of times, Doug, I'm never at peace here.
Oh no.
So, but
Unless your batteries run out and you go to bed.
man, I've been up. It's 2:30 a.m. this morning trying to get that big proposal out. But there's also a layer of the failure to be content or notice that contentment
Hmm.
in moments of success to bring gratitude. I mean, at some point, it's like, hey, shake hands with it, give that space. And I was just talking to one of our coworkers, and I'm like, man, he's like, we all in this society
Hmm.
genuinely don't give ourselves enough contentment because of the downward pressure, and there's not a lot of reciprocation or gratitude from the upper leadership or colleagues because it's such an extreme environment
Yeah.
that we're typically in. And I think we all need to do a better job because one day is not gonna hurt us, or an hour.
No,
Break
no,
it down.
it's true. And you've also got to give appreciation, and reward and recognize,
Mm-hmm.
what individuals are doing. And even for ourselves too, it's like, did a dang good job today. Got to be proud of that and should feel that way.
Letting I think this reciprocity, and I did something for you the other day that I could see that
Hmm.
we had been just moving, and I wanted to give you a moment that it was okay to step back, and I wanted to give you that. I felt like it was needed at that moment. I just remember calling you because I could sense it. I'm like, man, uh, you know
Something's
everyone,
up.
yeah, just and so reciprocity, the ability to give generously.
And I was grateful for that. I mean, we were burning the candle at both ends, and my tank was just empty.
Yeah.
It was empty, and I was starting to feel just some downward pressure of some things. Not that it was, it was just. I think I was just tired, and when I'm
Yeah.
tired, I'm cranky. Okay, and
Yeah.
I'm cranky, and I was.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's just reciprocity. Let's dive into that. I think it's generosity is something that's a lost art.
What does that mean to you? I mean,
Man, generosity for me is I didn't grow up in a very when I say like connected generosity, like to where I was raised in a very
so you didn't get the $20 bills for every A on the report card?
but it was I would say that unconditional reciprocity is
Oh,
probably one of the most beautiful things that you can do
yeah.
for someone. I still have habits that are inside of me where I connect my reciprocity to an action to someone. Like, hey, I did it
Hmm.
recently, to be honest, and it was like, man, that was ugly. And just like my wife, I'm like, man, I want to get to this peaceful contentment space where when
Hmm.
I give something, there's zero expect. Like when that's
Yep.
happened to you, it's like because they know you can
Yeah.
sense when there's something that's attached, regardless, even if you say anything. It's like there's this underlying position. If you're not giving wholeheartedly, they know.
Hmm.
Like, what's this guy looking for? So I think that it's reciprocity. I'm still learning. Like, this is like one of the big things that I'm
Yeah.
striving for is like this just unconditional giving,
My
right?
parents, when we were younger, and there a period of time when I was younger, we couldn't rub two nickels to make a
Mm-hmm.
dime, right? So I mean, we had a lot of dinner table talks. I mean, that's where we talked about our day at the dinner table. And my
Yeah.
dad challenged I remember my parents challenging my brother and I. And every night, the topic at the dinner table was, did you do something good for somebody today? And he used to challenge us every day
That's
that
awesome.
if it was holding the door,
Mm-hmm.
or helping somebody that you could see struggling, he would challenge us to do something good for somebody every day. And then he wanted
Mm-hmm.
our examples at the dinner table. That left a lasting mark on me that I do the same things to my kids at the dinner table we have a couple things. We do a high-low buffalo, it's called, right? Like, what was your high today? What was your, your medium excitement? What was your low? And then I ask them, did you do anything good for somebody today? And I want to hear their examples. And I need to get back to doing it more. I'm kind of missing it a little bit, but
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
important.
it's an energy resource, right? Like, and I was just thinking about some stuff that I've promised to myself and this family, and just like, man, showing up and doing some greatness, and not like, I don't know if you've experienced some people that, I think when it's always too public, it's always seeking affirmation of that public event.
Yeah.
I think it's like, man, just make it part of
But
yourself.
it's doing it when nobody's looking,
Yes. What are you
right?
doing?
Yep.
What are you looking
And
for in return? Are you looking for a social media buzz, or get some of these guys like trying to,
exactly.
oh, we gave this
Look
much.
at
It's
me.
like, what do you don't need to say it.
No.
Sometimes if you're talking with someone in the background, but going public with it everywhere, looking for like PR or
No.
something, just keep it with. It's okay to be okay with where you're at. Give it wholeheartedly.
But I mean, it's got to come within though too. I mean, and you can't expect anything in return. Yeah, in my opinion,
A
you
hundred
know,
percent.
you
You do
can't
that. It's
expect.
just it's even the giving when you do that. Like, I think there's a power that
Hmm.
I've seen of giving that occurs when you do it wholeheartedly.
Hmm.
What have you found, Doug, when in just within yourself and with that other person, it things of that nature typically come back around, but what's the biggest thing and impact that you've seen of the power of giving and receiving and being able to receive in the moment too?
A lot of it for me is I want to be for me I want to be that reliable individual.
Mm-hmm.
If again that accountability piece we talked on, a few weeks ago on the podcast, but it kind of reverts back to that someday I'm going to need some help with something. I know my time's going to come, and
Yep.
I'm going to raise my hand for help, and I don't want everybody to sit there on the sideline going, what has Doug ever done for us?
Mm-hmm.
Because my day is going to come that I may need some help. But when friends, family, whatever, I'm going to help my mother-in-law move this weekend. Moving is so much fun. I just love it. But
Oh, you have fun.
gosh,
You have fun with that. I'm
but you
good.
know what? She does so much for our family. I owe
Mm-hmm.
her that,
100%.
and I'm not asking for anything in return, but she's deserving of something in return for what she does for us. So I can't say no to that.
Yeah.
So I mean, someday it's going to be my turn, and I, hopefully, and truthfully, I think my friends and network have said that Doug, you're always the first one to jump in and lend a hand
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of cases, but
Yeah.
it's just I hope when my time comes that I need some help and support that it I had an
Yeah, and I
impact
think
somewhere.
I think there's just moments that we all feel, our tank's not full, or we're undervalued, or we haven't given ourselves a lot of
Yeah.
stuff where, we give, and it's like, I think this, you know, I think one thing that just based off we talked about our self awareness
Hmm.
is just like, man, we also need to have some reciprocity within ourselves. I mean that, like giving unexpectedly.
What are you doing for yourself? I
Oh
mean,
man,
what's worked for you?
I'm in the seat, Doug. That's about it. No, I'm still trying to carve my way out of this. Like in general, like, um, it's getting a lot more dynamic recently because we've grown our team and we've added some key
Yeah.
individuals that are allowing me to find space for that.
Yeah.
But I
No, we've
think
we've
just
had a lot of new supporting elements, I think, that
yeah,
some going to help with some of the heavy lifting. So hopefully that gives you a chance to
mm-hmm,
just give your time and energy where it's most needed, and then able to when you walk through the door with
yep.
your wife, your kids, your friends, that
We can just unplug a second, right? Like, and I think that the moments that I've failed in those or I haven't shown up with a lot of authentic gratitude when someone's done something for me. I'm not a good receiver in general,
what
which
do you
is
mean by
probably
that? Just at
I
recognizing,
don't
or
know. I don't really, Doug, just knowing me. I mean, I've always done this stuff on my own, man.
yeah, you
I
have.
find it
You've always
really
been a
hard
pretty
to
independent
take.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. So I find it really, really challenging. But you know what? when I let my guards down, meaning I don't have to do it, I don't always have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know what happens to me? I'm like, it's like this light, just this weight just lifted off my shoulders. You know, and I've started doing that with our team recently. It's just like, let them go run with it, and just understand that the likelihood of them being a lot better at it than me, because that's what they do, is probably tenfold.
But it comes with an element of trust too, I
Yeah.
think. And I mean, we're pretty grateful. I mean, I've never been a part of a team like this to where it's somebody's got your back or you need something. I mean, it's there. You
Yep.
know,
It's
no
not even a
question
question.
of that. No.
Yeah, it's not even. I mean, but I think that like that's just in general. We got to take those moments. We got to create
Mm-hmm.
habits together and within our team, and figure out how we give gratitude to these people that that need it, so we can build
Yeah.
this cultural environment that's got a direct impact to their homes, into their families, into their
Mm-hmm.
friendships. Like, we need to start bringing that out more. I think that we need to spend 20 minutes a day just being in the moment and having silent, you know, bringing that contentment for that stage, so that you can be authentic to that other person and say, hey man, thank you for knocking those out of the park, or whatever's going on. Just, I see
Yeah.
you. I see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know, me, sometimes I'm like this, got six things going in one thing, and I'm not saying thank you anywhere along the way. Um,
But as
Even though
humans,
I
we
might
want to,
feel that. Yeah.
yeah. And like, I mean, you had a huge project you were working on the last couple of days and you shared that with me this morning. And I went, dang, man, you hit the ball out of the park,
But it
you
wasn't
know?
just me, you know.
No, no. And then, and I know the other individual on the team too, and collectively, the two of you working on it together. And I had a chance to tell Jorge that, before this recording today, that nice work, man. Heard you're burning the midnight oil last night. You're probably cross-eyed right now, dog tired,
Well, that's the first
but
day he got to work all week. So I said, Corey, stacking 24 hours.
no, he's going to watch this and
Yeah, exactly.
he's going to
If
bring
he's
it
not
back
right
on you.
now,
Yeah.
Jorge, hey, thanks for the one day this week, bud.
Yeah.
No, but you're exactly
But
right.
no,
But
but the thing is, I mean, people, I think as humans, we want to hear that, it's not that I always need a pat on the back, but sometimes you want to hear that you're doing a good job, right?
slow
It's like,
down.
yeah,
What's that moment? What's that extra?
give credit
uh,
where credit's due.
What's a moment going to take away? What's it
Yeah,
going to take away?
yeah.
It's actually going to build up, right? Like, and being in a
Hmm.
we got to recondition the environment of where we
Hmm.
want that greatness and positivity, and like showing up, like wanting, like you and I love to get in the saddle, like,
Yeah.
but we also have to make sure that everything around us is building up in the, like, how we enjoy that.
Because it's not an individual win. It's a team effort, right? With my sales success that I'm having, I
Oh
couldn't
my
have done it. I
gosh.
couldn't have done it by myself,
Well, we
honestly,
had to go off of QuickBooks just because of that. I mean, it was like
because I
those
was
their
filling it
servers
up,
were their
filling it
server,
up.
you fried their server,
Oh,
because they're like, Doug, you haven't logged in here in months.
yeah, they ran out of cells in the Excel spreadsheet.
Dude, they're like, man, is this user logging in? It's like taking server space. I'm
Right.
like, hold on, we'll move over there so we can hide his username.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, shoot.
No, but like, I think though, as we wind down today, let's just think, let's take some time, and maybe move into those stages in our day, and just think about appreciation, contentment, and
Hmm.
reciprocity around, and stitch gratitude and all those
Gratitude.
things
Yeah.
together, and just maybe one time a day, pick one person in our family and start working on these habits, right? And let's see what that does to us.
Yep.
Let's see
Yep.
what it does, and and
Yep.
and let's challenge our viewership. Like, let's try it. Let's just
Maybe
try.
be some level of fulfillment there.
Let's just see. Let's not do it once. Let's do it every single day without anything. We're not expecting anything. Let's be authentic, and let's do this together. And let's see after 30 days what happens. Let's
Hmm.
see how this environment. Let's see how things can change. Right. So as we wind down today, though, we just really want to. I think this is
Yeah.
a
Thanks for
crucial
tuning
topic
in
in
again.
the workplace, in our lives. I think that it's something that I struggle with, to stitch this all together. It's something I strive for, and I think it's a desire of mine to be really great in
Yeah.
this area.
If you could work toward it, I'd appreciate it.
Oh man. Whew.
Thanks, buddy.
I got to have you logging in. No, but so we appreciate you guys jumping on to Never in Reverse podcast. And again, my name is Jeremy Axel. I'm your host. That's Doug Cox, co-host. And we look forward to having you guys on this journey for hopefully a very long time. So we appreciate it and have a wonderful day. Take care.
Thanks.